After an eventful day at Cradle Mountain, the bus takes us back to the car park.
Sunny days like today, you don't often see wallabies or wombats out. Cooler, cloudy days, you'll often see them during the day.
Our journey continues along winding roads, heading south towards Queenstown. Approaching Queenstown, there was a noticeable change in the colour of the landscape. Closer to town, it became evident that serious damage had taken place in this area. After the demise of Queenstown's gold mining, a switch to copper mining required huge copper smelters, which were fueled by the surrounding timber. Due to this change, the area became polluted, leaving a devastated landscape. Despite the devastation, there remains a colourful attraction to the artistic eye. Hopefully, over time, nature will regenerate and return the landscape to its former state. Straun, situated on Macquarie Harbour, where World Heritage Cruises takes us on a full-day historic and scenic cruise, which includes the Gordon River. Launched in 2007, the Catamaran Eagle, purpose-built for passenger comfort, it has the latest technology. The low-wash design also ensures minimum impact on the Gordon River's sensitive environment. The Eagle's skipper constantly informs passengers of the unique conditions whilst he navigates the Macquarie Harbour.
Now this maintains the channel in one position, which is a bonus from the start. Also the training wall, it narrows the channel down. So this has a Venturi effect, it speeds up the flow of the water, the natural scouring effect of the ebb tide that scours the sand away and it deepens the channel. To an entrance island and the headland on the left, and that will bring you safely in over the harbour bar. The volume that we get, and the channel has silted slightly, but still today there is about 5 metres of water here in the channel. Now of course this is no problems for us when you draw around 2 metres of water. And you'll also notice there are some channel markers. Now they're placed directly on top of the training wall. They're starboard hand lateral marks.
The 60-metre entrance to Macquarie Harbour is named Hell's Gates due to the amount of water flow and narrow entrance. This has claimed many ships over the past 2 centuries. Macquarie Harbour is the second largest harbour in Australia. Due to the low population and development along its shores, it remains in pristine condition. Macquarie Harbour has a rich aquaculture. Tasmanian Atlantic salmon is world-renowned. Hatchlings are raised in these floating pens until reaching market size. As can be seen, the food is sprayed into the holding pens through a hose. Tasmanian Atlantic salmon is the only farm produce in the world not requiring treatment to remove impurities. The cruise included a stopover at the notorious Sarah Island. Our group was fortunate to have the colourful Colin Dean as our guide, who provided an animated as well as entertaining insight as to what life was like here for the inmates.
Island, this is how it would have been set up about halfway through its operation. As you can see, no trees. I'll explain why later. There's a very nice illustration here. It shows how the island was laid out. painted by Charles-Henri Théodore Constantin, a French artist, sent to Van Diemen's Land for paying far too close attention to someone else's wife, who's brought here for forgery. There's going to be one for everyone, isn't there? So we know how the place was set up very nicely. Now, bit of occupational health and safety. The convicts didn't build these paths, we did. So they're not as good. So as they go down here, watch your footing. Also, it drops off quite steeply on the right-hand side. So if you want to stray off the path, you're quite welcome to, but stray left, not right. This is where the men and women were brought morning and night to keep track of them. And in the 12 years of the prison system, some 1,200 men and women convicts came through here. And we know a fair bit about them, especially the ones who kept playing up, the rebels. Actually, we had one guy on the tour once who was a bit embarrassed about why his ancestor was brought to Sarah Island. Brought here for stealing items of women's apparel. Goofy! In fact, it was only 10 years ago in Tasmania where they repealed the act making it illegal for men to dress up in women's clothing.
No, that's wrong.
After 6 o'clock at night. You do what you like during the day. The Commandant had his office up here on the right, where he oversaw all the workstations. Down here to your left, a large quarry, where all the sandstone was quarried. At the bottom of the quarry, there's a millstone where they ground the wheat to make the flour. These are the only two workstations on the island where the men worked as chain gangs. These are the blokes they couldn't trust to put in the boats and take out to the work parties. Now these stones would have been stacked up to form a pulpit. This is where the Commandant addressed all the criminals. Nothing changes, does it? Behold the workstation of the flagellator. Anybody want to go?
How'd they do it?
They used a flogging device, didn't they? A whip. Cat o' nine tails. You want to find out? Promontory. Not part of the original Sarah Island. It was built by the convicts to house the commissariat store. Quite a substantial building where they kept all the supplies. That includes the supplies that you lot aren't getting. No rum, no tea, no sugar, no tobacco. No comforts of any sort, all right. Sorted. But this was built up differently to the rest of the island. Built up solid from the seabed with quarried rock. Not from the main quarry. From a deliberate straight cut excavation here. Gave them all the rock they needed, but also gave them a deep dock where they could secure it against the weather. You're on an island, best way to escape from an island, you steal a boat. So they had to secure them. You can see this large timber here. It's one of the base timbers of the cove. When that was slung in place, slung between two workboats because Tassie Blue Gum doesn't float, this cove was about 3 metres deep. Scoured along the edge of the island by the flow of the river, but now the promontory's here, the flow of the river's moved out. So the cove's filled up, now we've got a beach, where we didn't have a beach before. Now usually at this stage, you can just see it poking through. Just the far profile of the mountains there, you can see a very distinctive peak on the left-hand side. It's got a sheer drop of about 1,000 feet, said to resemble a Frenchman's cap. It's called Frenchman's Cap.
Leaving Sarah Island marked the start of what was to be one of nature's most absorbing displays. A tannin-stained Gordon River provides a mirror image to a most pristine ancient rainforest, creating a unique and memorable experience. The rainforest is home to the most sought-after hewn pine timber for shipbuilding. The hewn pine tree takes many years to mature. This exhibit demonstrates the progress of a tree through almost 7 centuries. As the eagle returns to Straun, there's a final opportunity to view more tranquil reflections. Back at the wharf, there's an opportunity to view demonstrations as well as purchase products created from hewn pine.
Other amount of native timbers. Hewn pine, when it's finished, looks a lot like this. Well, in fact, it is this, to be technical. Lovely, silky, smooth finished. A lovely different smell. Excellent boat building material. The marine worm cannot infiltrate the hewn pine as the oil in it prevents it.